All right, good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Good to see you all. So many of you. We all have a turn to talk. Just take your time. We're going to call the meeting of March 10th, 2020 to order. Ben, call the roll. Call, please.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Here.
Council members Achara.
Here.
Donlin. Fisher.
Here.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Here, everybody please rise for a pledge of allegiance and then please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer thereafter.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Okay. The notice requirement for the Open Public Meeting Act has been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Trust coaster posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 30, 2019. There are two fire exits, one to my left, which will take you down the hall and meander you out to the front of the building, and one to my right, which will also take you out to the front parking lot. If you have a cell phone, now's a good time to turn the volume down. You can keep it on if you need to take a picture, but if you need to make a call, kindly go out into the hallway. We do tape and archive all our meetings, and they are on YouTube, and the calls do interfere with our sound, and our audio engineer does not like that at all. So before we get started, I'm going to go down the line and see if we have any council reports. John, do you have anything for us tonight?
No report.
Dave?
Just next planning board meeting, going to be 3/23, Monday, 7:30 p.m.
Rob?
Chamber of Commerce, today's Tuesday. Thursday morning at 1:18, 8 o'clock, they have a breakfast mixer networking event. If you're interested, please go to the Greater Ocean Township Chamber of Commerce website and sign up.
Great. Mike, anything?
No report.
Marty? No report. I'll just mention one more thing. I mentioned it last week also. We have our annual St. Patty's Day event coming up this Friday. It's the 13th. It's at the Renaissance. It's $25 a head. We get a bunch of people there. We have a lot of fun. There's Irish dancing there. We have a DJ and a lot of great stuff. I mentioned it was all the corned beef and beer and wine you can eat or drink, but there's also other items too. For those who are observing Lent, there's also going to be some raviolis. There's also chicken options. So there's many other options for food as well. So please do come out and join us. It's a good time. We have a lot of fun out there. Well, we have ravioli with cheese. There's your Lenten option, just in case. And we do get special dispensation from a local priest. So just thought I'd throw that out there, just in case any of us are observant. All right, let me get into the purpose of the public portion is to solely ask questions, understand resolutions and vouchers that appear on an agenda, not an occasion for a public hearing, not an ordinance. That will occur at the end of the meeting. You'll have a chance to come up to the microphone and speak when we open up the public portion at the conclusion of the meeting. So right now, does anybody have anything related to the consent agenda, anything that's on here other than the ordinance? Come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Don?
Don Geiger, 1108 Grassmere Avenue, on two different resolutions. The first one, 20066. If I read through the actual resolution and understood it, we're paying another firm to get caught up on tax appeals from, I think, 2003 to whenever.
That's not,
And then in
no.
case there's a conflict.
Right.
No,
Okay.
wrong.
That's
Okay.
68.
That's 68. So
Okay.
bad.
The DuPont firm is hired in case we have a conflict, and in addition, any old tax appeals that are still pending from back when he was handling them, he still handles.
Okay.
We do
That's
them
it.
in-house, or Marty's firm
Yeah.
does them, but he was carryover from sometimes these state tax appeals because they're over $1 million, take a few years to resolve.
Okay, just wanted to check. And then on 20068, how do we manage to underestimate?
Where's the?
Wait a minute. Is that the right one?
That's the one we just answered, Don, on the.
Yeah, I
conflict
saw that,
attorney.
but how do we manage it?
Excuse me.
068 is the tax appeal one.
You got your numbers right, bud?
Maybe I don't.
Yeah, that's right. Did you want to know?
Oh,
What's it-
sorry. No, it's which one is it? I don't know. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'll check it out.
All right. Anybody else on the resolutions that appear on the agenda? No? Seeing or hearing no one? Someone please offer the consent agenda for a second and our meeting minutes from February 27th, 2020, and resolutions 2063 and 2064. Someone please offer.
Or for the consent agenda.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Tonight we also have vouchers in the amount of $13,344,516.03. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. And for resolutions, you have 2065. Authorize the execution of a rental agreement between the Township and the Board of Education for the use of 8 54-passenger school buses for the 2020 summer rec program at a cost not to exceed $8,000. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. 2066. Authorize an amendment for the contract for the heat and air conditioning services for all Township facilities air services. I'll turn the page here. Maintenance, Kennelsworth, New Jersey, increasing the contract by $40,000, bringing the total contract amount not to exceed an amount of $64,480,000. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. 2067. Authorize a continuance of a shared service agreement with Monmouth County Sheriff's Department for computer-related services to support dispatching functions for a 3-year period, January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2022, at a cost not to exceed $40,079 for a 2020, which is 1.5% increase for the years 2021 and 2022. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. In 2068, authorize a professional services contract with Michael R. DuPont Esquire, the firm of McKenna DuPont Higgins and Stone, for legal services related to tax appeals for a period of January 1st through December 31st, 2020, at a cost not to exceed $25,000. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. In 2069, approve change order number 1 for the construction of sidewalks along the portion of Highway 35 awarded to Land Tech Construction LLC, doing business as United Terrain Group, increasing the contract amount by $6,209, which brings the total contract amount from $137,750 to $143,959. We did get a grant for that amount, by the way, so that's pretty much all covered under a grant. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. And 2070, approve the refund of a portion of construction permit number 200008 in the amount of $972. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and finally, 2071, authorize a tax collector to issue refunds credits to the taxpayers who have received favorable state tax appeals and judgments. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and the ordinance that we have on for introduction, we're going to pull that. We need to tweak it a little bit more. So at this time, if anybody has anything?
I just realized where I messed up.
Come on.
My brain isn't here. Could I ask my question?
Start the clock over, Vin.
May I?
Start the clock over again. Go ahead.
Clock. No, it was 2066. And if I read it correctly, when they looked at the original resolution, somehow they realized that they estimate or something, and that's what generated the increase. Did I read it correctly? Part
Yes.
1.
Well, it was additional work also.
Well, I think what the problem is that we're operating on a temporary budget right now,
Okay.
and they wanted to put the amount in to get us through the temporary budget, but we had budgeted for the entire thing already, so we had to correct the resolution.
Okay. So it wasn't a miscalculation. It was just
No.
correcting everything.
Yeah, it was a mistake in the first resolution.
Okay.
Good?
Am I all good?
You're good.
Okay. At this time, anybody from the public have anything germane to Ocean Township you wish to share with us, come up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Please understand we do have timers. You have 5 minutes to state your case and get an answer from us.
Okay, hi.
Name and
I
address.
don't know if I need that.
You do.
You do because we tape and archive all meetings and you won't be heard on the.
Okay, so my name is Brooke Minnick, and I live at 540 North Edgemere Drive, West Allenhurst.
Okay.
I'm here tonight with to submit some letters to bring to your attention a issue we have going on in the neighborhood as far as an open construction permit and neglected home. So can I read the letter?
Yeah, I did receive something.
I
from,
have something with an addendum onto that
Also,
letter
yeah.
with
that
additional
you sent me?
signatures.
Yeah, okay.
2 more letters that were taken around the
Yeah,
neighborhood.
you can. Just you have. It's a 5
Okay.
minute.
We are writing this letter to inform you of a public safety and health hazard occurring at 703 South Edgemere Drive. The aforementioned property is located on the corner of Monmouth Road and South Edgemere Drive and is under a construction permit with the town. There is a huge sign on Monmouth Road indicating Blue Creek Construction as the general contractor. This project has been at a complete standstill since May of last year. After many complaints to the homeowner and finally to the town, an old appliance was finally moved off of the porch, but construction materials have been left in the front yard, window holes remain open to the elements, and the property is not kept clean, trimmed, or secure. Feral cats and other animals have been observed freely entering the home. Metal gutters have broken apart and hang loosely from roof edges, risking damage to other homes from high winds. We are also concerned that an abandoned house as such could draw crime into the area and put us all at risk of a house fire. This historic block consists of homes extremely close to each other. The closest home to this house is less than 25 feet away. The century-old wooden home is a lovely structure, and we want to see it preserved and fixed, not left to rot and be an invitation to vandals and become a fire hazard. This long-term problem is truly affecting the quality of life for all the neighbors who have to live with this daily problem. We support home renovations, but the almost 1 year long vacancy and neglect apparent in this construction project has a negative effect on the entire area. Several neighbors have called or visited town hall to lodge complaints, but no real changes happen. Other towns offer tools such as vacant property registration and insurance liability requirements to protect the town from claims when there is a home so clearly capable of being of harm to others should it burn and set others on fire. If our town also has code enforcement tools such as the daily fine for allowing a home to remain in a dilapidated state. We met and welcomed this neighbor and all hope for a great restoration of the lovely home that has been a part of this streetscape for over a century. Watching the decay and delay for an entire year has caused all of us to reach a point of escalation. We now request that the council ask the code and construction officials to take strong and fast steps to ensure the safety and maintain the quality of life of the taxpaying citizens of this area of Ocean Township. Thank you for your interest in this concern. Respectfully submitted by the following taxpayers and residents of Ocean Township. So we have 2 more letters to leave with you and pictures.
Great. Thanks, Brooke. You can bring them up. So we did, again, I think I got copies today, which I submitted to our...
Those are pictures. This
as soon as we're done. Good. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Musillo because we discussed this prior to the meeting because I did get the letter, like I said, about 7:03, and asked them to look into it, do what you have to do to ameliorate this situation right away. And so, Mike, what did you find out so far?
So we had the health department go out. They went out twice. They didn't find any evidence when they were there of health code violations. They didn't observe like any animals or anything in there. They did observe the issues with the construction material. So what we can do going forward is to immediately go in and board up the windows and everything, so it doesn't become a place for vagrants, basically, and whatnot, or so wild animals don't get in there and move in there, and continue to go after the people that own this and that aren't doing anything about it. So that was going to be our next step, since we heard back from the health department, is we'll board it up and we'll put a lien on their property for what it costs us to do it, and we'll go after them and try and get them to finish this.
We
But
have
can't
a property maintenance ordinance is what Mike's talking about, so we're able to execute that, go in and do that, do whatever work we have to do just to clean it up and make sure that there aren't any rodents or anything like that, and then we can assess them. And so I think that's our next step.
That's our next step.
You have to come up to the mic. We can't have open forums because we're taped and archived.
Name and address for the record.
My address, Mark Minnick at 540 North Edgemere Drive. Just understanding the condition of the property there, is it true that the permit is open for this project?
What the state construction rules say that there's like a year time frame. If as long as something is done at least once a year, they can keep the permit open. But this is becoming such a nuisance there that we're going to have to step in and board the place up for now.
It's approaching a year
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
So it was my concern, and I didn't know if there was a procedure for seizing the permit. Just continuing the opportunity for them to continue. 'Cause it is what I'm afraid of here is this is just going to continue. So we get
Sometimes
another 6 months to a year, and then nothing's
Absolutely.
really getting done.
Yeah.
So if it can be seized, if that's on an option,
sometimes a lot of problems you run into, especially if they're bank-owned houses, we'll go after them constantly, and they won't do anything.
yeah.
And that's what it kind of seems this is turning into. So we're just going to invoke our property maintenance and board the place up, so it doesn't turn into anything, and do what we can to force the guy to renovate, or sell to somebody
Yeah.
who will, But there's only so much we can do on that end.
Do we know when when construction started?
It was over a year.
Okay, because the only date I heard May.
Well,
It
May
stopped.
stopped.
Right.
And for what reason, we don't know if it was lack of finances, some form of an incident may have occurred, but it just was immediate. Nothing was happening. We speculated that maybe the permit was not granted and they were outside of permitting construction activity outside of a permit. So that's speculation. That's why I was just trying to make sure that if the permit is in place, that
It could be revoked. Yeah, we'll look it up. We'll look up construction. We'll see when it was first issued. We'll know.
yeah.
Do that
But
tomorrow.
it's been a
Been a while. Okay, good.
long enough.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Christine.
Hi,
Hi.
Christine Levy, 525 South Edgemere. I wanted to know how long the Blue Creek construction sign can stay in place, because it feels like a billboard on Monmouth Road that we have to look at every day, and there's no construction going on.
I'll send somebody down tomorrow, and they can, if it's in violation, they'll take it down.
Yeah, I don't think it's in violation, according to one person I spoke to. I also spoke to Mike Boley, who was taking down some trees as friends of Blue Creek Construction, and he called him while I was standing next to him and asked about the house, because I told him we were going to meet tonight. And he told, the conversation was that the owners ran out of money. They're a young couple.
Happens.
And the bank hasn't approved any money, and the builder has offered to buy the house from them, but they don't want to sell. It was also, I don't know how fact-based this is, but also the house next door, the vibrant blue ranch house, was bought by the same family, and they're renting it out. So it looks like they're looking to expand maybe the property line to the yellow house. Like Mark said, we just don't want it to drag on. And it was a beautiful, beautiful home.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's very upsetting to look at every single day. And there's more people that bought those little homes along South Edgemere that are moving from their larger homes to those smaller homes, so the pressure's going to be even more on for that yellow house not to be the way it is, because they're not going to be rented out little cottages. They're going to become full time.
Okay.
So how do we find out where you are in the follow-up process?
It would probably be easier if I went through one person. Whoever it is, I'll give you my email address, and I can let you know that way, and you can
Okay.
update everybody else.
Would that be you, Brooke?
We have Fred's contact.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
My name is Gene Tate, 604 Laurel Avenue. This house and the condition of the house is not uncommon. I've lived next to a house that was vacant for over a year, no landscaping done, no cleanup done at all. It's just started to be renovated now. And there's a couple of houses down on Monmouth Road that has a tarp on the roof for over a year now. It seems that there's a lot of real estate changes or purchases where the house stands vacant for a long period of time with no work done on it, no landscaping done, no renovation done to it at all. And it's very difficult when you look at a neighborhood to try to sell a house. I do real estate also, but to sell a house and tell someone, oh, that's under renovation. And you can't sell a house to an in-neighborhood person. If you want someone from New York to come in and purchase a house, they understand that the house is vacant. But you're not going to have a local person buy a house next to something that's left in the condition that some of these houses are. And we've made complaints to the town, we've made some calls, and there hasn't been any action to it. And really, as a homeowner that has to live next to some of these things, is really unconscionable. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Anybody else? Okay. One more thing.
Well, I just wanted to add my name as a contact because I don't think Fred has internet.
Okay.
If it's easier for email.
Probably better if you'll do that after the meeting. and come
Okay.
up
Yeah,
with
you
dates.
can exchange digits there with Mike. Okay, anybody else? With the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Jackie Wenzel, 610 Deal Road. So I just wanted to come up and ask you a couple questions, Mayor, about what the progress of the corner going on the corner. Because often, obviously, because I've been a spokesperson on the Save 32 Acres mission, people keep calling me in a panic saying they're taking trees down, and then I look and I've seen some trees knocked down. I don't know if it was from the wind or what's going on. Have they been given a contract to take, a permit to take down trees yet?
No.
No. So anything that's down has really come down from a storm?
Yeah, they're felled trees from a storm or just they died.
Okay. What I wanted to ask you is if perhaps you could talk to the developer, since we've been following some of the permits from the DEP and the DOT. Sounds like there's a lot of work that needs to be done, particularly in the DOT in terms of safety. And I was happy to see that because a lot of the concerns that the DOT bring up are things that the public brought up at the planning board meetings and seem to have been sort of, rushed through. So what I wanted to ask is that perhaps you could ask the developer if he would wait on taking any trees down until all permits are in place. Because should something go wrong, we live in a crazy time right now. Economy is going crazy. People are worried about this virus, that we would hate to see a bald corner and no development go forward. As the neighbors are saying here, things in a halfway state. So I would like to know if I can maybe have your word, maybe not tonight, but maybe you can have some conversation that until all permits are in place, that everything just remains as is.
Well, we've already had that discussion, and it's hard to hold them back because once they get to a certain point and they meet all the engineering and things like that as far as a plan, if they take trees down, show us a plan that's going to satisfy the drainage and all that. If they do all that, it's going to be hard to tell them no. They did offer also something very unique and different, was a reforestation bond and plan. In the unlikely event that they don't go forward with the project or they lose their appeals and they had taken some trees down, which frankly there are a lot of invasive viney trees, I'll tell you that. Reforestation plan is actually a better deal than what's there right now. It'd almost be a blessing if you took out what was there and then replanted it.
I don't think you could take everything. Well, that brings up another question. Do you know what the number of the trees are now that the township will be receiving money for that have been qualified as healthy trees?
We have a count, I'm sure, down there at Ron's department. I haven't seen it lately, so I'd have to go and look at it.
So Ron would have what the final count is? Did we ever have an opportunity to have someone from the Shade Tree Commission or anyone go in and look? Because during the planning board meetings, the residents had hired a tree expert just to, as anyone would have someone on behalf of our township, because we're taking the word of one tree expert to compare it to another. That would be in our best interest. And at that time, during the planning board, they didn't allow our tree expert to go forward, even though he was really quite a master in forestry. So is the Shade Tree Commission or is the Environmental Commission going to have someone walk the property?
People walk the property. We're not waiting for anybody else's report. They went through the legal process, the planning board hearing. They've presented their witnesses, their professionals. We accepted their credentials. And I think
But they're being
going with
paid for by the developer who's.
that. Nonetheless, they still have to stand by their report. They can't lie. Even though they're getting paid, you just don't lie because you're getting paid.
Well,
you have to be
that would be a
substantial and
perfect
truthful.
world, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I have faith in people, Jackie. But nonetheless, I'm not a tree expert. I ride by that corner. I've been doing it for 60 years. That's a disgusting looking sight right now before it
Well, now
starts,
it's bad.
before the leaves come in. I mean, it's not good looking at all.
No, but I question a little bit their expert because when I first saw him spray painting the trees, he stated to me, I was like, what are you doing? Like, there's no, we don't even know what's going on with this corner yet. And if anything's going to be approved. And he said, oh, this is just temporary paint. We're just getting an inventory count. It's going to wash off at the next rain. Well, that was like 6 months ago, maybe a year now. And that's still just as bright as it was the day he sprayed it. So, people have a way of kind of seeing things, glasses half full or half empty.
Paint.
Yeah,
But
so
he didn't
so
cut any
I don't
trees
know if I completely
Okay.
trust his evaluation there. I think the community would feel better if we had someone that represented the Shade Tree Commission, because then we would get more revenue for it, and then we would have an opportunity to replant trees in other areas.
You know, we have a robust shade tree fund right now with plenty of money in there, but I think the fact that the owner of the property himself will put up a large bond for a reforestation plan, I think that's pretty good too.
No, I think reforestation plan is beautiful.
Very good,
It beats the berm
In
idea.
fact, they're doing it now, Alaire and some of the other state and county parks. They're out there themselves doing controlled burns and things to reforest, basically, is what they do. So.
No, I think it would be great to clean it up and keep it green, and especially until all the permits are there.
But we can't ask any more of him than any other applicant. It's kind of, you just can't single out one person. We've done a lot with that property. I think the last 14 years I've been very vocal and a catalyst and trying to protect it and doing all we can and trying to negotiate to save a piece. And I've been down that road 100 times. A lot of work's going into that, but we're doing the best we can over there. But if he comes in with a plan that satisfies the engineer's drainage and whatnot, and he wants to pull his permits, he's going to be able to do that.
How was Toll Brothers evaluated? Do
Same
we
way.
have someone, or they had their own tree expert?
No, they submitted a tree plan and we accepted it.
But they paid quite a bit of money for trees.
Yeah.
So they had healthier trees on that corner than that corner.
I don't know how much more they paid than.
I mean,
this
I thought
corner's
they
gonna pay.
paid. They took down like 300 trees and paid us money for that. I thought we had quite an income coming in from it. That's why it seems strange. I mean, at least the number I was told that only 38 or 40 trees is what came up at the.
I don't believe that's the number. I know
Okay.
you said that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's the number.
Okay, so can we find out what the number is? I'm just curious.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, I'll go to
Call
Ron.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Seeing and hearing no one. Oh, one more? Okay. Come on up, Don.
Thank you. And last time I checked, I'm still Don Geiger, and I still live at 1108 Grassmere. Two things. I'm remembering discussions about the master plan. Has anything happened with that? And are we behind, or is it overdue?
No, not overdue. It has its last revision 2014, which is within 10 years.
Okay.
And then they are 2021 is the plan that they're going to have go out to bid to have a brand new master plan repeat.
Okay, and at that point, or at some point, we, meaning the township residents, will get a chance to chime in.
Yeah, there'll be a public hearing.
All right. And last but not least, a special shout out to my special friends at Public Works, Alyssa, Nancy, and Tom. And I'm going to mention two to represent all the other employees at Public Works. And this is one time only. Hank and Brandon, who happens to be a neighbor of mine. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Seeing and hearing no one, so I'll make a motion to.
Wait, can I just add something? Because I'm looking at the resolution from the approval for Route 35 and Deal Road. And it looks like, according to our report, the amount to be donated was $221,550 with an amount of $350 per tree. So that's a lot more than 36 trees.
Okay. Seeing and hearing no one, so I'll make a motion to close the
Make
public.
a motion to adjourn?
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani?
Yes.
Members of Chair?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano?
Yes, meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming. We air twice a day in channel 77 and 22, 10 a.m. if you have files, and 7 p.m. And we also are on YouTube 24 hours after the meeting. Thank you all. Good night.